What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 3, Episode 17. And it's called Chapter 52, The Raid / The Master? I'm not sure which one it is. It changed, I think, in between the episode.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast because we are going to go through our best moments of the episode, our MVPs, our LVPs, our best lines. So be sure to stick around for that.
And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us get into the episode, y'all.
Yes, let's get into it because I'm really curious to see what you're going to say.
So I think just on a general level, I thought that the episode was, I think it was a bit of a filler. I think that just because there's 5 episodes left, they're trying to kind of space out and pace out the last half of the season. And there are a few things that we do learn, but I do feel that it was a little bit slower than normal episodes. But it had a nice little ramp up at the end of the episode. So I thought it was a good episode. I just, I feel like there was still a few things that are leading into more story. So like, you know, the thing with Cheryl, the thing with, you know, Baby Teeth at the very end. Like there's a lot of things that happened this episode that are still leading to the final, I guess, end part of the season. So it felt like it was still kind of leading to something. Like nothing was really resolved. What did you think?
No, I liked it. I liked the episode. I think just on like a bigger general like look at the season, I don't understand why we're still here in this moment. Specifically with the farm. With the farm storyline, I think Veronica's and like the lodges, I loved all of that, and I want to see how that all plays out. I just feel like they, you know, I read this article just now, and the one of the writers was saying, he's like, I feel like the writer of the episode literally comes in and all they do is read the recap of the previous episode and then they just write this episode. He's like, because there's no through line from the entire series, from the entire season of season 3. He's like, it feels very like disjointed and very like individual episodes, and like, so I was like, yeah, I can totally see that. And I don't know. Yeah,
I totally, you know, I understand what you're trying to say. Like I said, I think I feel like it's a small piece of like a larger puzzle, but it's very self-contained. Like they only played with a certain amount of characters this episode. Like Tony was missing from the game.
Is, yeah, totally.
Like there were so many people that were missing. Like where was Josie? Like that's what I was thinking about the whole time.
That happens. Like that's Riverdale. But like also like I want to hear what like our fans have to say too. Like, are you guys okay with having waited this long to see Edgar? like we've been talking about the farm since like almost season 1. If not,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And like, how did we just get here? And that makes me feel like there's not a lot of story to tell because they're saving it for the last final 5. And I'm like, is there going to be enough story now? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I do think that they set a few things up that are kind of like gaggy, but we'll get to them. Anyway, let's get into the episode. Yeah. So it starts off at Riverdale High. And first you think it's this like next level like raid, like sneaky attack situation, like somebody's breaking in or something. And then like it's Jughead and his boys, and then they're going in, and then suddenly he's like, be careful to Sweet Pea. And then suddenly there's like a bullet, like a little laser, and then he's like bang bang, and then the lights turn on and it's Sheriff Keller. And he's like, y'all are dead now. You guys like didn't know how to like be more stealth about it. And
so this was kind of cool. It's a simulation of like a raid and like doing it properly, which is totally cool. Like I really appreciated this moment. But
it made also, sense. Like
it made sense. But also I'm like taking like these high school kids are like doing police work though. Like, can we all just like take that in right now? Like, what happened to like the ROTC? Like, what happened to that
very
group?
Very good point.
Weren't they doing the same thing? Like, guys, I can't.
Moose's dad, the leader of the fucking gang, like ended up going to jail.
So then, like, the whole thing must have just like blown up. Yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure. I'll believe that.
But at the same time, you're right. Like, I don't even think the ROTC was like out there like doing anything like the serpents are. Like, I can appreciate the trainee thing. It's cute. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, FP basically says you guys are not ready for like being on the main
Yeah,
situation.
he's like, you guys are definitely not ready. Jughead's like, sick. We're ready.
That's basically what he heard. He's
what
like,
happened.
nice. He's like, I'm gonna go out there and do my thing now. After I just almost died. So anyway, then it cuts to Pop's diner, and Betty and Veronica are just talking about
Such a cute
her
scene.
parents' divorce. And I was like, I really miss B&B.
I miss these
Like,
moments. I know.
Why can't they just be together?
I know.
So anyway, Evelyn walks in. Betty basically says, I'm so sorry about your parents. And Evelyn walks in and she's like, can I hang up these posters? Like, the farm is having an open house or whatever. And Veronica's like, sure, I have no beef with you. So like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And as she's putting up the little things, Betty's like, ooh, an open house. And she kind of just like slurps her drink. First of all, guys, this is a plot hole because she's drinking her milkshake and she's slurping when the drink is all the way at the top. Like,
yeah, like a drink wouldn't slurp. Oh, that's a good catch, JLAG. A drink
I
wouldn't
was like,
slurp.
Consistency, bitches.
But also, I was like, yeah, that sound effect is always there.
Okay, relax. It's true. So anyway,
it was cute because it was like, Betty, like, she doesn't say anything. She's just like, ooh, and then Veronica's like, yes, slurps, I will go with you. Like, it was just a really cute moment.
Yeah. So then it cuts to the Jones residence. Now it's so weird calling it the Jones residence, but
it trips me out every single time.
Like, why are they in
like
Alice's
guys
house?
these guys were so
weird.
lazy to build another set that they had to use an old cast like family's house.
True. No, I don't think that's the case, but because I really do feel now.
No, it makes sense. It's just funny to see.
And now that I'm seeing this episode, I really feel like I know what I want to see by the end of the season. Basically, Alice and FP moving in together is what I want to see.
Wow.
Right? Like, do you see that at all?
That's so far away, I feel like, still, because Gladys is in the picture now.
Right, but she's gonna get her ass out of there. Like,
I don't know. 5 episodes is not a lot, guys. I feel like this shit's gonna go into season 4, and I'm not like prepared for that.
No. Anyway, let's not talk about that right now. I don't think I'm prepared for that either. So anyway, so they're in the Jones residence, and FP's coming in like hella stressed, like all the time. So he comes in, he's stressed out, and everybody's like, "What's wrong? What's going on with you?" And he's like, "You know what? I just keep hearing about like drugs everywhere all the time." He's like, "Somebody found our trailer and was filled with drugs, and I'm so cheesed." And Jughead and his mom like exchanged looks, and like clearly they're obviously like, you know, just trying to push this tension that keeps raising and building between the two of them. And because like Jug can't say anything to his dad, and his mom is obviously the drug dealer, so you know Jughead keeps like saying things like, "Ooh, must be weird that there's like drugs there's like another cancer in town," and all these different things. And FP's like, anyway, I'm going to go watch cartoons with Jellybean.
Yeah, I was like, this is why you can't find out who's the drug dealer, because you're like, out here watching cartoons. So
that's a good point. So then he leaves with Jellybean, and obviously that's a moment for his mom and Jughead to go and talk to each other. So she's like, oh, you think that you like blew up the thing and everything's going to be okay? Like, that's going to stop me? And he's like, no, I'm going to like keep trying until you're fucking out of this city. And she's like, well, I ain't going nowhere, bitch. So then she like starts to walk away, and then she like physically assaults him.
Yeah, like grabs his hair and his hat. She's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like whatever she says. She's like, you better
don't
stay
cross
off
me
my
again,
territory.
you little bitch. Yeah.
I was like, you're his mom right now. Like, can we just fucking check this right now?
Like, can you
your
just
mother
check
and
the fact
son?
Like, relax. Anyway, so then it cuts to Sisters of Quiet Mercy's open house, and Kevin is leading a tour because he's a loser, and he's walking, you know, like Betty and Veronica through with like a bunch of other people, and they stop at like the door, like that door that we see all the time, and then they kind of show that area, and then they turn back around. So as they're leaving, Betty bumps into her mom.
By the way,
and her
Betty
mom's
has
wearing,
the best lines. She has the best lines
What
of
did she
the
say?
entire season. Because Kevin's like he's like, right here. He's like, this is the door. Like, do you guys know what's like behind this door? She's like, yeah, like you try to like choke people out in water.
Baptisms, like,
yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, what did
baptisms.
you say? She's like, nothing. She's like, actually, I want to note here. She goes, nothing. She's like, what's that door over there? And she points to like a side door. And I don't know why the first time I watched it, like I noticed the number. and the number was 317. And I was like, why are they focusing on the number? But guess what episode we're on?
Girl, did you find an Easter egg?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're in season 3, episode 17. And I don't know if that's what it means, but like I feel like the focus on that number was something significant. And if you add up the numbers, it's 11, and I feel like 11's a very lucky number. But before, I'm not going to get into all of that.
I'm like, let's stop. Like,
but yeah,
no
let's
more
stop.
numerology.
But yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, I was like, oh wow,
that's so interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that is actually pretty interesting. So then her mom walks out in like this white ass suit, like power suit.
Effing like Olivia Pope suit.
It was like silky though. Did you notice like the material?
Yeah,
she looked pajama
amazing.
material. It was so weird. So she walks out. She's like, "Oh, hey, Betty," and then you realize that like Betty and her have literally not seen each other for like a while. Like she didn't even show up to her fucking concert last episode.
To the concert.
And now she's
like Betty even says,
here.
she's like, Mom, because like Alice just like walks away. She's like, cool. She's like, have fun.
She's like, nice
and then
to see
she's
you.
like,
Bye.
Mom, like we haven't even seen each other. Like, what the F? Where are they living now, by the way?
No, I guess she's living at Sisters of Quiet Mercy / the farm, and Betty's living with Jughead.
Okay.
Like low key in her own old room. Yeah. So then she's talking to Betty, and she's like, I have nothing to say to you because you're the one that forsake me, and like you're the one that doesn't want to talk to me. And Betty's like, okay, fine, whatever, bye. So as she's leaving, the guy opens up the door, like one of the recruiters open the door and ask her if she wants to be interviewed. And she's like, you know what, fine, whatever, let's do this. So she goes in and Evelyn's there, and Evelyn's like, ugh, why are you even here though? Like you don't even want to be here. And Betty's like, well, just pretend that I do want to be here. So then she like sits down, she does like the whole thing, and Evelyn just like asks her the questions, but like she asks her like the basic ones.
Very
so
basic,
she asks like, do you like bite your nails? Are you like a sad person? Do you think that you're really angry? And Betty's like, yeah, but like everybody feels angry sometimes. Like she wasn't, I don't know why the interview ended the way it ended, because she was like, okay,
I think
you're
she
done
can
now.
just sense that like Betty obviously is like, Betty's the most lit person against the farm right now. So like Evelyn knows like this girl's not down for this. So in that moment, Evelyn's like, you know what? Forget this. She closes her book. She's like, it's fine. Like you're good. Like bye. Because she knows that she's not going to get anything out of Betty, you know? So
right. Yeah,
it just made sense.
So the one thing that I did want to say, and because like at the end of the episode, like things are a little different, but I did want it to be a Betty and Veronica episode. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I really, really, when I saw that first 2 minutes of them at Pops, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do a mission together.
Yeah,
it's been so long. I'm so fucking excited. And then
nothing.
Not really.
No, like Veronica just dipped. I mean, Veronica had her
and it
would have.
I feel like it would have gone.
Like she had to deal with the parents, right? So like she had to deal with the divorce and all of that.
That's true.
And the fish.
No, I get that.
But no, you're right. Like I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. But I did love seeing Betty and Cheryl together too. I effing love them together. So
yeah, but that shit went south like real quick.
I know, but.
And it just would have been interesting to see if, like, you know, honestly, all I'm saying is when the core four are literally working together as one unit and hitting all these plot lines, they will get it all done. But, like, they separate themselves into these separate ass plot lines. And I'm like, you guys are not going to win. Like, you don't have your people around you. Like, Veronica would have killed that, but she didn't. And she could have totally used the divorce as a means to be like, I'm sad, like my family's like depressing and I need to like find my light again.
What you're saying all makes sense, but Riverdale doesn't make sense sometimes. So you're coming from logic and they're coming from I don't know. So they're like, you're right.
No, they're coming from extending a plot line 23 episodes is what they're where they're coming from.
Exactly.
You know? Like, let's be real. So anyway, let's move on to the next scene, which is the lodge residence, and Hermione like speaks 7 tongues at one time. She's like, God. She like goes off.
I was like, what? What's going on now? Like, you're not happy.
And then she's like, Dios mío, Hiram. And then she just hangs up. And then she's really pissed off. And Veronica's like, what's wrong with you? I just like did an 8-hour work shift. What were you doing all day? And Hermione's basically pissed because they're opening up the prison, or I guess Hiram's opening up the prison. And he didn't invite the mayor. And she was like, and Veronica's like, what the fuck's your problem? It's not that big of a deal.
She's like, no, she's like, you tried to kill him 2 times. Like, do you think he would invite you to this thing? But also, I was like, bitch, you're the mayor. You can go wherever the fuck you want to go.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna invite you? You can just roll up.
Crying.
You're the mayor.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
Like, it just didn't make sense. Like, she's like, oh, I didn't even get invited, and like now we're not going to be a united front, and like now I'm going to get killed and I'm going to get murdered. I was like, oh my god, this is a slippery slope. Like, jeez.
That's the thing. Veronica was like, can you please not spiral right now?
Yeah.
Like, she literally said, don't spiral. So anyway, so then she's like, without Hiram's protection, like people are gonna start coming after us. I'm like, I feel like I've heard this storyline already, but okay, fine, let's move on from this, because I feel like the last time this happened, when he was in the hospital, the same thing happened.
In season 2, did we not see a boss ass Hermione Lodge in the shadows?
Exactly.
So I don't get it. Can someone please explain to me, someone from the show, a writer, please, like, explain to me, why did you put her in these really like powerful positions, but only now to like put her in this really like weak and vulnerable positions? I don't understand. Does she even have power? What is her role?
Or is she being manipulative? Is she lying?
Yeah,
this whole
like
time?
I don't understand why she's
pretending
constantly like weak or strong whenever they want her to play either like role. Like, I don't get it. It's not consistent. Agreed. And it's really annoying.
It's really annoying.
I liked it. I question these things because I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Like,
she just seemed even more vulnerable.
Yeah,
and I'm just
she seemed very weak and very like, oh, I'm over this. Like, I can't.
Like, I'm gonna die now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're the mayor. Like, guy. Like, anyway, whatever.
Anyways,
so
okay. Yeah.
She's cheese. So then it moves to the Andrews residence, and Jughead and Archie are talking. They're catching up, and I forgot, like, they're neighbors now, so like he can go over whenever he wants.
Yeah, Jugs is like, I can eat double the food, and Archie's like, sick.
Yeah, basically. So he's just catching him up on like his mom and how he wants to catch her or whatever, and then he gets a phone call. Archie gets a phone call, and it's Mad Dog calling from jail, asking for help.
What? 18 episodes later,
like 25 episodes later, he's
when
alive
Archie escaped.
Still, yeah.
Like, what?
So anyway, you get this phone call and you're like, okay, this is the gag of the episode for Archie. So then it cuts to Jughead, and he's just getting ready to like get his serpents in there and try to find the drugs of the town.
He literally calls them like the DEA version of Riverdale. Like, I'm like, homie, do you not know that you're like 16 and you're in high school? Like, you don't have like you're not a police officer. You cannot be the
cannot
DEA.
Do that. Like, and also, you guys are like a side gang. Like, you guys are like the opposite.
You don't
of
have
what the DEA
weapons.
is.
Like, you don't have anything.
Like,
and if you do that, you should probably tell your sheriff dad that you're doing this mission. I know
which he doesn't want you to do.
I know there's so many Jughead fans out there, but like, guys, he makes the dumbest decisions. Like,
yes, I agree.
That I can't. Like, even Archie wasn't this dumb
at the very end, but. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He makes some very brash decisions that don't make real sense. Outside of the fact that I guess he's so enraged that it's his mom that he like really wants to push her down, but it's just not. Anyway, he puts everybody in danger by the end of this episode. So it cuts to Pop's Diner, and Archie and Mad Dog are. Oh no, sorry, they're not at Pop's Diner yet. They're just talking on the phone, and Mad Dog basically fills him in on the fact that, you know, this prison is now closing and they're moving everybody to this next adult prison, like, and they want them to probably start and they probably want them to start fighting again. And he's like, y'all, you gotta save me, like my family's like not picking up or whatever, like I don't know where they are. And Archie's like, don't worry bro, I got you. And so it cuts to Veronica and Archie talking at his new boxing gym, which I thought was weird. I'm like, why is she just randomly showing up unless he called her? And then he says to her, he's like, you know, they're taking these people from the old prison, and they're taking them to your dad's prison. Like, we need to get them transferred. We have to get them out somehow. And Veronica's like, actually, I'm gonna go talk to the governor because he's in town here today.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So then it cuts to like the governor. Right? The
governor. I was like, there was no like transition. It was like literally the next scene.
It cuts
was, like,
to
the
them
governor.
in like the lodge residence, and basically the governor, Dewey, he walks in, and Veronica's like, come, and he's like, who the F is this guy? Because Archie's just sitting in like a chair, like so cocky, and she's like, this is my ex-boyfriend. I was like, okay, you don't have to say like who he is to you. Just say it like, this is my friend Archie.
Oh my God, it's so funny that you picked that up, because I was like, why did you have to like put like a little hashtag at the
I'm like,
his name?
He doesn't need to know your whole relationship status. Like, it's fine. And so basically what happens is like they basically blackmail the governor and say that like you guys were doing fights with like the warden, and he's like you were there like having like dinner with him and you saw all that shit happen. So basically like if you don't let them like have a pardon, we're gonna like take you to court.
We're gonna expose you.
He's like, I'm gonna go to like all the news like papers. I was like, why don't you go to Netflix? They'll freaking make a documentary for you, and like you know, like it'll be like so good.
But then I feel like the due process will take too long, and like Mad Dog wants to get out like
so
right
in the
now,
end,
you know?
he does it. He's like quivering in his little like black shoes because he's so scared. So this is what I don't understand, and this is what like I had a big issue with too. Girl, why didn't you just do this from the mother effing beginning of the season when your boyfriend was fighting? Why didn't you call up the governor and blackmail his ass?
Pothole number 70.
Why?
745. Yeah, like it's understand. Just, you know, what are you gonna do?
Because guys, then magically like Mad Dog's out, and like so are the other guys. So like it's magically over. It's done. That's it. That's all that happened.
Literally. 2 seconds later, it was so random to have him in the episode, but it was even more random how they got him out. Like, it was just so fast.
Like, there was a prison break. There was a motherfucking prison break. And all they had to do was blackmail this motherfucker. I can't. I'm done.
It's such a good point. I was like, we literally spent episodes of agony watching
got like 20 of the cast members to help you break this guy out of prison. Like, it legit sounds insane.
Like, it kills me because like Archie was the one that said like, you're the one that started the Innocence Project.
Yeah, like, when he said that, I was like, thank you. I was like, you are all of us right now.
And then Veronica's like, don't worry, I'm going to go back to the original plan before I was going to break your ass out of jail and then just get all of your friends out. Like every single one of them in one day. Like it's not going to take long.
That's the other thing too. Like it wasn't even just like pardon Mad Dog. Like it wasn't even just that. It was like, no, like we're going to get everyone out. I was like, okay, this is so unrealistic. Like anyways, I'm sorry, whatever. Guys. I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
I'm crying.
So it cuts to Pop's diner, and it's Cheryl and Betty, and they're just talking. And Betty basically asks Cheryl to help her infiltrate the farm / Sisters of Quiet Mercy. And Cheryl says the same question that I've been kind of asking myself recently. Is the farm really that bad? And Betty basically, she doesn't really put up a good case against it. And I feel like I would have come up with a few more things outside of the fact that Sisters of Quiet Mercy is the literal place that tried to convert her, which was mentioned. We mentioned it last episode. A few of our followers also said the same thing. And I was like, she doesn't make a compelling case. She basically says like, you know, aren't you interested in the farm? Don't you want to find out what happened there? Like your brother was going to run away with Polly there. And I'm like, that's going to make her want to run into the farm. Also,
I totally forgot that was the same farm. Like it totally hit me. And I'm like, holy shit. It's true. We've been talking about this farm since season 1.
Since season fucking 1.
Oh my God. Like it really hit me there. I was like, oh shit, like that's the farm that Jason was gonna escape to. Like I don't know, it was just pretty crazy. Anyway, sorry.
And even more so the reason why like we haven't seen Edgar like all this time. Like what the fuck?
Exactly.
So
anyway, Cheryl does agree to it.
Just goes
like,
with
I'm down. Like cool.
So then it cuts to her crying, fake crying in the bathroom. And Evelyn sees her and she opens up the door and she sees her crying and she's like, Tony and I broke up like the 7th time now. And Evelyn
she
just tries to like
say,
comfort
like,
her.
Come talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk now, girl.
And then it cuts to like a really quick scene where Cheryl just opens this door like a boss ass bitch and she's like, I'm in, cousin. And she was like wearing this amazing outfit.
I love the shots that they give her. They're so good.
Honestly, they give her the best shots ever. It's so cool. So anyway, so she's ready to do that thing. And then it cuts to the comic book shop. So this is Sweet Pea walking in and he's talking to like the nerd at the front store and he's trying to buy drugs because that's where they went the last time to find the drugs, I think. And so he pretends to buy drugs and then he's like, no, I nailed you. And then Jughead comes in and he's like, if you don't tell me where like everything is right now, like I'm going to take everything from you. And he takes him everything anyway. But like, anyway, the guy essentially tells him, you have to look for gargoyles hanging from telephone wires. And I was like,
so random.
that's a little extra. And then when I watched it, I was like, that is so extra. Like, just you get shoes. Like, like Jughead literally had to explain. He was like, well, back in the day in like old like places, they
He's
would
basically
like throw
saying like
shoes.
in the ghetto, you see running shoes. If there's like a drug den around.
For exactly. But then he was like, now it's just like gargoyles. I'm like, guys, you could have just used shoes. It would have been totally fine. Like, this is so unrealistic. You're telling me they made little statues of gargoyles and threw them up on a wire and like wherever they were gonna sell drugs? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so Jughead is just ready to like shake everybody down. So he leaves the comic book store and like takes all their drugs, and he's like, you guys are shut down now. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty again, and she's getting bugged. She's bugging her. And it like keeps cutting back, and it's like a little bit of a montage where she's with Betty, and then like she walks in, and as she's walking in, she's like, just stay calm, like I'll be listening the entire time, just ask normal questions, like get the interview done. And halfway through Evelyn's interview with Cheryl, Edgar walks in, her daddy. And this is the first time we get to see Chad in his first like full scene. And he decides to sit down and ask Cheryl all the questions. What did you think of the resurgence of CMM?
I love him in this role. I think he's perfect for it. And I loved this whole storyline. Like, I really did appreciate it, and I was really into it. I was just asking questions like, why do we wait this long to get here?
I agree,
but now that we're
100%.
here, like, I'm totally into it. Like, I want to see what happens, and I love seeing Betty using like that old school, like, recordings, like devices and like whatever, like all the radio things, and like it was really cute to see that. So it worked for me. It was just more of like, damn, like we waited a long time for this moment.
A long ass time, for sure. So he talks to her about her loss, like losing her brother, and Cheryl just starts to like lose it a little bit, and she starts to like feel really sad about everything. And she says how she fell into the Sweetwater River, and then she burned her like childhood home down. And he says something like, you've already been baptized by water and fire. And I'm like, oh god, this is like some elemental.
Rose out of the ashes, like holy shit. I was like, whoa.
I was like, but it's kind of true when you really think about it. Like, it is true. Like, she did kind of rise above everything that she went through and like became a better person. And then he was like, but you're still sad about your brother. And I'm like, obviously she's still fucking sad. He's still dead. Like, come on. And he's like, your memories can be the path to revival. And I was like, when he said that, now that I'm like reading it back, I'm like, wow, like it really brings it all the way to the end of the episode. But anyway, she's like very interested at this point, and Betty's obviously just listening in on this conversation. So then it cuts to Pop Steiner, and like everybody's out now, like all the boys. I don't know how they got to buy all these burgers, but now they can all eat for like their first meal out of jail. So delicious. I'm so hungry now. And so Mad Dog and Baby Teeth and Archie are just talking in a booth, and
they're basically like, where are we gonna live? Because like that's the next issue. Like, we're homeless, we can't afford anything. Mad Dog's family's like missing in action. Like, I don't know where the F they are. So he's like, in the meantime, Archie's like, come stay at my gym. Like, I have the perfect place. Like whatever. It was so cute, and it was such a freaking cute moment, and I loved seeing them together. Like Archie helping his friends out. Like, it was really, really cute. Yeah.
So then he opens up his gym, and he's like, y'all can just hang out there. Like, I have a place now.
Yeah. And they're like, yo, sick,
he goes to the gym.
Fight.
He's like, we can just fight. We can have like sleepovers.
It was
and like
cute.
You can get you cots, and like it was cute. Like that he like now has a place, because like if he didn't get this place from Hiram, I don't know where he would have put them up.
And like Jughead has his crew, and like now Archie has his crew, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's like a little tiny gang. So he randomly intros like Tom Keller. Like Tom Keller's been like lurking in the shadows with like the doors locked.
Standing in the showers, and then he like walks out. He's like, hey,
go have sex with your girl. Like, what are you doing? You're like a married man now.
Random.
Like, go hang out with Sierra. So anyway, so they're like, yeah, let's just like box or whatever. Let's just like catch up. And it was cute. It was a cute moment. And then it cuts to Jughead, and it's like this montage of him kind of like hitting him and his people, just hitting all like the drug spots that they're finding around town.
Map.
Yeah. And so he keeps hitting these people, and he mentions fangs at one point, and it made me think like, okay, pause real quick on this whole like crazy crackdown storyline. do you think we're going to see this Fangs Kevin gay situation come to fruition at all?
Honestly, I haven't even thought about
You're
it.
like,
That's how much I don't care about it. They need to make me care about it. I don't care about it right now.
well, that's the thing. And I don't think that they are trying to make you care about, because they will get back to it. But at the same time, I'm like, he could potentially be a part of the farm. He could potentially be the one who's like he could be like a mole or something, you know, but he doesn't. Like,
What I
we don't
I
know.
want for Kevin, and I don't really want Kevin to have another love interest right now. I want Kevin
No.
to like win it all. I want Kevin to like somehow blow this shit out of the water in terms of the farm and really like do justice for himself, because I feel like this whole season
agree.
he's been a write off. So that's what I want
Yeah.
for Kevin. Whether or not that includes Fangs, I don't know.
But that's what I mean. Like, what is Fangs doing? Like, is he a mole? Like, is he like trying to fuck shit
I
up?
don't
Like, is
know.
he working for the farm? Is he working for the gargoyles? Like, what's going on? Anyway, so that's like a side situation. But at the very last bust, they bust these guys dealing drugs. They grab the gargoyle guy, and as they like turn around, it was like a cop trying to like legitimately bust
So annoying.
the guys.
Yeah, and then
And
FP
then FP,
like breaks out. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "I was
"You
like,
fucking must up my
yeah,
fucking
this is like
shirt."
mind." I'm like, "This is why you are not the DEA." Like, it
Yeah,
makes me
like,
so
sit down.
angry. Like, and then FP like loses it on Jughead. Like after when they're at home,
Yeah.
he's like, "What the fuck were you thinking? Like, why would you do that? Like, you have to report to me with everything that you do." And I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense. There can't be
Like,
this rogue
literally
like
your
group
dad-
of trainees."
Yeah. It would be so different if like his dad was not literally the sheriff of town, but his dad is literally the sheriff of town, you know? Like, you shouldn't be roguing out and like doing all these crazy things. Your dad told you not to do those things. Like, tip him off, sure. Like, why didn't you
Yeah,
just tell
tip
your
him
dad, go
off,
find
yeah.
go find all those places where they're selling drugs, like
That's
with
what
the
I mean.
gargoyles hanging from the wires. Like, that's all you need to say. Instead, you're
It's
just like
just
sitting
Jughead.
there.
He's so effing stupid, and he's so extra.
Like, why do you have to be so
Why do you have to
extra?
be the hero? Like, just go tell your dad this is the deal, and that's it. Like,
Like, bro, the last time that happened, you
not
almost
doing
got your ass
anything
killed.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
relax, bro. Like, take it easy. So anyway, so he gets pissed off, and his mom comes downstairs and overhears him yelling, and his dad's like, "If you ever do this again, I'm gonna send all of your asses to jail." And then he rushes upstairs, and his mom's like, like, "Your plan is not working." And then obviously Jughead's like just like cheesed.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the gym, and they're all like just like having a good time, and then Elio randomly walks in, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this gym is now open again, like, cool." And then he's like, "Y'all look real sexy. Can you come to my gym and like work out with me?" That's not what he says, but
no, he's like, I'll like pay you guys to fight and have like a fight club,
Yeah.
whatever. And everyone's like, Archie's
Yeah.
like, "No, we're good. Like, we're good here." And I'm like,
Get
there's
the
Mad
fuck outta
Dog.
here.
I can see Mad Dog
Yeah.
having some sort of interest in this.
I mean, it does make sense to me because, like,
It does
yes,
make
you're
sense.
offering them
The
money
kid
because,
needs
like,
money.
fuck these guys. What are they gonna do? Like, live in this fucking gym for the rest of their lives? So,
Yeah, exactly.
like, it just didn't
yeah,
make
no,
any
it
sense.
made sense.
So anyway, Archie kicks him out, and then he's like, "Well, if you guys want money, like, you know where to find me." And I'm like, "He's gonna find you, don't worry."
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the lodge residence, and Veronica says to her dad and her mom that she wants them to go to couples counseling, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, cute!" Like she just wants them to like get back together still.
Yeah.
And Hiram's like, "I don't think that's gonna happen. You want us to go to couples counseling? Don't you think like we're too far away from that?" And Veronica's like, "How many times did I forgive you for trying to kill my fucking boyfriend?"
Yeah, this
like,
was a really
million
good
times?
scene. They had some
was
really
a
good
really good
moments in
scene.
this episode, like the lodges, like all three of them. And I think it had
Yeah.
to come to this point where like everything was just laid on the table, like because all like Hiram's like, "It's just water under the bridge. Da 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 da. It's done now." She's like, "Are you fucked? Like you tried to kill my boyfriend
you
like
serious?
twice. Like how's that water under the bridge?" Like, but she's like,
It's-
"I put
yeah.
it aside because you always said like families first and like, you know, we got to take care of each other." So she's like, "I'm down to do that." She's like, "Why can't you guys do that now?"
Yeah, it's true. It was just like a sad moment for both of them. So he says like, "The ship has sailed, I'm sorry." So then
Yeah.
like she fails at trying to get the couples counseling. And so then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty, and Cheryl's like, "Ooh, like I went to the interview and like Edgar's like a yummy snack of daddy. Like
Yeah,
he's pretty
Riverdale
hot."
dads.
And I was like, "Uh-oh." And it was funny because at one point in time, like I looked at the stalls, and I always worry about the stalls being like filled with somebody like listening in, because it's like, why do you guys have these secret conversations in bathrooms? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So one of the girls like walk in, and like Cheryl basically yells at her. She's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
She's like, "We're having a conversation." I was like, that was so
like, okay,
random.
So she already did kick everybody out, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's the situation. So basically Betty says you need to like
she
keep
wants
doing
the tapes,
this.
right? So she wants Cheryl to find the cassettes of like Alice's confession and Polly's confession. And Betty's like, basically, if we get the tapes, like they don't have anything on my family, and like we can like pull them out or like whatever. So Betty's like to Cheryl, like try to see like and find out like where the tapes could be. And Cheryl's like, okay, sick, I'm down.
She's like, I will, but like at the same time, like I really enjoyed talking to him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And so then, and that's the thing. At that point in time, I would say like red flag. Maybe you should like not get Cheryl
like,
to
get
do
her
this.
out. But she's
like,
so desperate, right, to get the cassettes too. So
that's true.
I don't think she was like seeing clearly.
Right. So then it cuts to Pop's Diner, and Mad Dog is like really cheesed because he's like, I found my grandparents and my brother, and they're living in this like dinky ass like apartment, and there's drugs being dealt in the apartment building, and I don't want them to be around that. And Archie's like, don't worry, we're gonna get those gargoyles out. I have an idea. And I was like, okay, cool. So then it cuts to Hermione, and she's like walking to her office. She's like, la 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 la, and then she has a package on her table.
First of
all,
all,
it's like dead fish.
She walks up to the package not knowing what it is. Like, girl, can you not smell that shit from the hallway? Like, fish stinks. She's like walking, and then she like opens it. She's like, like I would have like smelled that shit from a mile away, like sitting on the desk.
It's just funny because like this is like the second animal that she got delivered to her. Remember when she got snakes in the first season?
Yeah. Oh my god. Servants? Yeah.
It's like the second animal. Anyway, so she like freaks out because she's like, obviously it's a sign,
which means that like someone's like gonna kill you.
Someone's gonna kill her. And it's funny that we know where it came from now, but I
didn't expect it at all. Yeah, no.
But I was like who wraps up fish like so pretty like that? Like I would have put it like underneath her like in her desk or something.
No,
like,
not
she
even
just
that.
like went straight to the deli and like got it done, you know?
What my question was originally, before I knew everything what happened, I was like, who would bring it in the house? Like who got into their house? Like who went into the office? Like if anything, like they put it like by the door, like at the front. And then like when she opens the door, like it's there on the floor, like waiting for her. Like that would make more sense to me. So I definitely questioned.
But I guess it's like it's more threatening, and at the same time, like doesn't her office have like people coming in and checking in, like the what's her name, like the secretary?
Oh, was it her office at work? I thought it was at home.
I think it was her office at work.
Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, whatever. We're getting too deep into this. So then, so she's like freaking out on Veronica. Veronica's like, "Oh no, like what's going on, mommy?" And Hermione's like drinking because she's so worried that someone's gonna kill her.
Like someone's gonna kill me. Like I'm not protected. Your dad's gone now too. Like I don't know what to do. Like they're gonna come for me. She's like, okay, like I got this.
So then it cuts to Jughead and Archie at home, and he's like, this is what we're gonna do. And then Archie's like, you know what? Like I got my boys too. Like we'll help you because we both want the same thing done. So let's like fight these bitches together. And they're like, yes, let's do this. So then it cuts to Edgar and Cheryl, and they're having their like second, I guess, interview or whatever. And Cheryl's trying to dig a little bit, and she's like, so like, what do you do with these tapes after you record with me? And then like Edgar's just trying to answer but like not give like the full details, and then he kind of catches on that like something is going on. I feel like he like the camera keeps like zooming in on his face, and I can't read him that well yet because I guess he's supposed to be mysterious, but he's also like really hot. Like
his
as the
eyes
camera
were on
was
fire.
zooming in, I was
his
like,
eyes were like glistening. But yeah, he doesn't give any information. He's always like, girl, like what's your deal? Like why do you want to know? But they keep talking, right?
Right. And then basically he says like let's go to this next area. Like let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
So then they like go for a walk, and then slowly
and then Betty's like freaking out. She's like, no, Cheryl, no. I'm like, she can't hear you.
Yeah, she can't hear you. You forgot to like put like an earplug in her ear. Like you idiots. So she like walks away from her. She's like, oh yeah, we're having another get together tomorrow. And then like the reception starts to like go away, and then Cheryl's like, oh, what's in this closet? And then he's like, and then it like goes to like radio
cuts
silence.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so she's not gonna die. Obviously, like something's gonna happen. She's gonna
Yeah.
she's gonna
She's not
realize
die.
something. Yeah. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty the next morning, and she's like, so what happened? Like, what did you see? And Cheryl's like, honestly, like, I don't even want to talk to you right now because like I just want to like not do this bugging situation anymore. I think it's like very weird and very illegal, and I didn't feel comfortable. And Betty's like, honestly, you're so right. Like, just get out. And she's like, actually, I'm gonna
She's like,
still
no, I'm
go,
good.
but yeah. So I'm like, good job, Betty. You really fucked that up.
Yeah.
Like now she definitely wants to be
I
a
should
part
have seen
of
that
the damn
coming.
farm.
I didn't expect it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was like, no, Cheryl's good. Like, she's smart. But yeah, now she's like sucked
Listen,
into.
based on the fact that they like tried to lurk in on Cheryl the last episode, like Betty should have known this was gonna go
Yeah,
this way.
it's true.
So at the same time, like I feel like they just kind of merged their storylines into one. You know what I mean? Like Cheryl would have been the next victim of the farm anyway. You know, so I was okay with this being like a failed mission. Anyway, so then it cuts to Veronica and Hiram, and she shows up at his office or whatever, the 5 Seasons. I don't know where the fuck he's staying anymore. And she's like, you sent mom a dead fish. How would you do that? Like one of your guys went and tried to kill her or was like threatening her. And Hiram's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. And Veronica's like, you don't understand that like your wife is literally going to die if you don't take care of her right now. This is like a big situation. And Hiram's like, but how do I do that? And Veronica's like, just don't get a divorce, wink. And he's like, like,
Yeah,
we'll
he's like,
see how that
no.
goes. He's like, that's not gonna happen, but sure. So then it cuts to Betty and Jughead, and they're in his bed / her bed / her room. And I thought it was so cute that like his room still looks like her room.
Yeah.
Like it's like still pink. Everything's like cute and pretty instead of like a man cave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like he probably did that on purpose, like keep her have her room maintained, which was kind of cute. So anyway, they're talking about both of their plans, and they're like, good luck to you. Like you guys sound like both of your situations are hella dangerous, because Betty's not going to try to break into Sisters of Quiet Mercy. Jughead is going to break into the apartment building. So then it quickly cuts to the detention center opening. So it's Hiram, Hermione, and Veronica like just announcing to the town that they're opening it up. And Hiram has like I guess you can call it a cute speech, which was like relatively rehearsed, where he basically says like, this is to like protect all the families in the world, and I would never like do this without like the help of my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter.
No, he's like,
we're good.
my beautiful daughter and the love of my life. I was like, okay,
I know, he
you don't
like
need to
went
preface
all
it with
the
love of my
way.
life. You could just say my wife, who's the mayor. Like,
It's so
that's
true.
fine. It was funny, but yeah, it sounded very fake, but Veronica's like so lit.
Very,
She's
very
like, I
fake.
did it. Like,
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah, Veronica's like, nailed it. And so then it cuts to Jughead, and he's raiding the apartment, and like,
So this is like
it
really
happens really cool.
the main part of
Like
the
the
episode.
apex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I really
for sure.
appreciated like the way they filmed it. The cinematography was like on effing point.
Yeah. It was
so
a
they
really,
go up,
really
like,
good scene.
multiple floors basically, and then like
Right.
everyone's kind of like, so Archie's there, Mad Dog's there, like his crew's there, and then plus all like the serpents are there. And
Right.
they're basically like clearing off every floor first before like they get to the
Yeah.
top. But like along the way,
Right.
like the serpents are like dipping to go into like those floors. So I think by the time they get to like the top floor, it's just Archie and Jughead, right?
And then Mad Dog, I think.
And then like Mad Dog's there too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
in this part, we see that like, I don't know if it was like the main guy, but one of the guys, like, they start shooting at Jughead.
Yeah, so you
Right?
hear gunshots and you're like, oh shit,
I'm
there's like guns
oh,
involved
shit.
now.
Now there's like guns
Yeah.
in this, and like someone could literally die.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
So then
So
whatever, they
then
go in, they find his lab, they find like, what's his face? What was his name? Kurtz.
Kurtz.
Yeah. So they see the lab, but then like you see like the shadow of like, I guess it's like Kurtz like lurking in the shadows. And then like
Yeah.
Jughead's like, oh shit. Or Archie. Which one was it? Was it Archie?
I think it's Archie like is the one that's about to like get shot, and then Jughead like slams the door on his hand and like gets him to drop the gun or
just like
whatever.
comes out. He's like, eh.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
But also like you realize that like she's also selling like guns and stuff too. Like now they have guns.
Yeah.
Like there's literally like every type of ammunition you can ever think of like
So
on a
bad.
wall.
But also like,
And-
what were they doing before Kurtz was their drug like maker? Like I thought Kurtz
Well-
was just like a student at high school.
I know, like, if Penny Peabody
make
couldn't do this,
sense.
right? Like, I don't get it. Like, even Malachi, like, I don't understand why
Yeah,
he
that's
just
what
didn't. Anyway, whatever.
yeah.
We can't get into this because it's gonna get too complicated. But, yeah. So, but the thing that I was surprised by is like that no one did get shot. Like at one point in time, there's a whole bunch of gargoyles running after Mad Dog down a hallway, and it's just him. And he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll take them on."
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna box them to death. They have guns. Like you can
Yeah.
literally die in this moment. And like you're telling me that a gang of gargoyles didn't have guns when they had a room full of guns, like in the next door. Like it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like why introduce guns when you're not gonna like get someone like shot? Not that I wanted anybody
No,
shot,
you're
but
right.
like
I know what you're saying.
you know?
Yeah. So then basically
don't
what happens
bother.
is like
Just
they
make
get
it-
Kurtz.
yeah.
They bring him down the stairs, and then Kurtz is like, "Yo, I'm ready to like ascend. Are you?" And like he like
Yeah.
basically like pushes himself off the wall. And like
Yeah.
him and Jughead fall back through like this like wooden like window.
Yeah.
And they basically like
Yeah.
fall to the ground, which was like freaking like floors up. Like God knows like how Jughead is like still alive.
I know.
And
I
then
know.
basically like Kurtz like runs away. So I'm like, Jughead, you couldn't even finish the effing job properly.
Yeah.
And then Archie luckily like comes out and he's like, "Yo, like, are you okay?" And Jughead's like, "Go get Kurtz. Like he's running away." So then Archie had to go get him.
And you're telling me that Archie couldn't catch up to that guy? Like, come on, are you serious?
Yeah, like
Anyway,
it was just like,
whatever.
Jughead, you did all of this for nothing. And someone could have
Yeah.
died because you didn't know that they had weapons. Like it's just
/ you could have died.
You
like
could
he
have died,
literally could
yeah.
have died. Anyway, so he talks about that later too. So first Veronica gets back home and she sees the Monsignor leaving as she's getting in, and she's like, "Why was the Monsignor here?" to her dad, and Hiram basically says like, "Well, our marriage is now annulled." And she's like, "What the fuck? You still did it anyway?" And he's like, "I'm still gonna protect your mom, but we're actually like done. So like we're not getting back together. It's not gonna happen, girl." And Hiram has like a moment where he basically says like, "You know, it took me a second, but I realized that you were the one that's sent the fish to your mom." And I was like, the gag, but also not the gag, because I felt like it was like,
I didn't
like,
know.
I mean, I didn't know, but like when it came out, I was like, okay, yeah, it was a pretty sloppy like dead fish moment. So
I mean,
kind of see it, but
no.
But I definitely didn't think
see
that.
it.
I definitely didn't think that Veronica would go this far to try to get her parents to get together. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So he says like, I'm glad, like, too bad you tried, but like it's not gonna work. And Veronica's like, I thought that it would work to like get you guys to like be together and see each other.
It was really
together."
sad. It was a sad moment.
It was sad.
And like I
I'm,
definitely
like,
do
mocking
want
it,
to
but, like,
see.
yeah, it was a sad moment.
I definitely do want to see like how someone her age goes through their parents getting a divorce. Like I want them to like explore that storyline a bit further.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do with it.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, because I feel like it might end off with like maybe a bit of a tragedy, like more than just like a divorce, potentially life and death. So we'll see. So then it cuts to Jughead, and he gets home and he's like, what the fuck? He like starts yelling at his mom. He's like, you guys have guns now. I'm gonna tell Dad I don't care what he does. Like I don't care if he gets so sad he like gets like breaks his heart. And his mom's like, no, you're not, Jughead, and like Jellybean and your dad are not a part of the situation. It's you and me. And Jughead basically says,
at this point I'm like, this is ridiculous. Go fucking tell your dad.
Yeah,
like this is just
sure.
stupidity at this point. Like now there's
like,
guns involved. Like
what does she have on you? She doesn't have anything on you other than like the guilt of your dad feeling sad about her.
Exactly.
His wife being
Other
a piece
than
of shit.
your parents maybe separating because your mom's a drug dealer. Like, okay, she is though. Like, what are you gonna do after a certain point?
How else were you gonna think this was gonna pan out? You know what I mean? Like, eventually he's gonna be heartbroken because Gladys has to leave. So either way, your dad is gonna be sad. Like, it doesn't
or
make a
someone's gonna
difference.
get killed in the process.
I don't get it. And yeah, exactly. So he's like, no, I'm going to choke your operation to death, like slowly, like one by one. And I was like, and then Gladys is like, yeah, go ahead and try. But I was like, what is up with these fucking parents going after their kids? Like, I don't get this dynamic. Like, it's so dysfunctional.
It's just very extreme. It's very extreme.
Yeah.
Like dynamic.
It's too much. So then it cuts to the Sisters of Quiet Mercy, and they're having their like second open house, and Betty breaks in as they're doing like a little ceremony with Cheryl, because they're like, oh, welcome Cheryl,
new
our
member.
new recruit, like
Yeah.
welcome back, welcome here. And as she's doing this, she goes into the room 317 and steals all the tapes. Like she's finding all the tapes, and
She finds
that's
her
it. Like,
tape, like her mom's tape and
she finds-
Polly's tape,
yeah.
right? The Cooper tapes, and she takes
right,
them.
exactly. And then she finds Cheryl's, and then she takes Cheryl's as well. And then and then that was it. Like it was such a random scene, and I wanted to kind
And
of
it was
double
so
check
easy.
what it was so easy.
Like,
Like
it
she
was
literally
too
just walked
easy.
in and then walked out.
Yeah.
It was too easy. And it was weird because I don't know if you noticed the picture in the backdrop, but like it was a picture of Edgar in this closet, and I was like, that's so creepy. Like it's almost like he's watching you.
Oh yeah, for
It was
sure.
really, really weird. But yeah, it was a really fast scene, but at the same time I was trying to overhear what they were saying on the speakers, and I think it has to do with that fact of like, if you give yourselves to us, like you'll be able to see like you're dead, like it made a lot of allusions to like what Cheryl says later.
Right.
So anyway, it cuts to Archie and Mad Dog talking, and Baby Teeth, who was guarding the door downstairs, he's now missing. Like they don't know where he is. And Mad Dog's like, oh, by the way, like I'm gonna leave because now that my fam's out, like I need to get them out of that place. And Archie's like, what do you mean? And then he's like, Elio hooked me up with this like new place, so I'm gonna leave. And then Archie's like, what the fuck? So you're gonna like fight for him? And Mad Dog's like, I literally have no other choice, so like can you please like not do this? And that was it. So what did you think of the fact that Mad Dog just like came and left?
I mean, I want to see him again, but his character has been like this throughout it, so it's just I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like to what end? Like to what context? Like are they going to become like
nothing...
rival gyms? Like what's the situation? Like I don't get it.
Or maybe rival fighters.
I don't know why they would have. Yeah, but like
they were already doing that. Like we've already seen that.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But it was a very random scene to have there. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty talking, and she gives Cheryl the tape. She's like, here's your tapes. Like now you don't have to go to the farm. Like they don't have anything on you. And Cheryl basically admits and says, listen, I still like the farm. I still don't want to not go anymore. They let me see Jason. And Betty got really confused, and so did I. I was like, what? And Cheryl basically, she's like, I literally saw my brother. She's like, the farm gave that back to me. And she's like, it's like him in the flesh, and I get to talk to him and I get to see him, and I'm really grateful for the farm to give that to me. And Betty's like hella fucking
like, what the
confused.
fuck is going on? Yeah.
So am I. I was like, what do you think the situation is? Like,
let's talk about it like after, because
like,
I want to do like predictions afterwards.
Okay, so then it cuts to Pop's diner, and Betty's talking to Alice, like she invites her for lunch, and she asks the same question. She's like, do you love the farm so much because they brought back like Charles to like so you can see Charles? Yeah, she like doesn't even lie. She's like,
deny
yes.
She's like, yeah, I see my dead son. Like it's so cool.
This is the tea.
I love this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And Betty's like, what the fuck is happening? And Betty basically asks, like, can I just meet Edgar? And so she meets him, and he kind of just has a quick conversation with her and is trying, like, I don't know what he's trying to do right now. I guess he's his end goal is to try to recruit her, right?
Of course.
Like,
and he knows that she's the toughest
her.
one. He's like, it took so long to like finally see you, whatever. And she's just straight to the point. She's like, tell me everything. I want to know it all. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
For sure.
So that it cuts to the gym at the very end, and Archie's like, oh, like what's up? And like they find like a chalice at the front doors, and they bring it inside. They're like, yo, there was this random chalice at the front doors. What is this? And they're like, I'm not sure. And then inside the chalice, there's teeth, and they're like, teeth? Baby teeth? I'm like, oh my god!
So they killed
like,
that guy.
literally
Obviously,
put his name. Yeah. So he's obviously dead. And then it cuts to FP like talking on the, like, it was so annoying because I was like, you don't see this happening. It's like all these like filler expositional phrases. So he's like, yeah, the hiker told me that it was in this area.
Yeah.
Let us go check out this
was a really
area.
creepy scene.
Yeah. So then he finds this clearing.
It was like night, it's dark. First of all, like, why wouldn't he have someone with him? Like, why is he going alone? Wouldn't he have like a partner or something?
Always the question.
Yeah, so then he basically sees like a clearing with like all like the gargoyle shit like up again, like the wooden, like the skull or whatever. And then he sees like a body like hunched over. And then like you look at it and like it's obviously baby teeth, and he's like dead, and his teeth are like ripped out.
He's dead. And
So
his
that was
teeth are
so
missing.
disgusting.
It's like,
Yeah,
and
it
then
was
that's
so
the end of the
gross.
episode.
That's yeah. The ending was good. I have to say, like, that ending was like really, really good. But yeah, I don't know.
But at the same time, like, we're still back at the gargoyle situation. We're
Exactly.
still back at this whole like story, and it did remind me of the very first episode, because that's when we see like Ben in front of the sacrifice situation. But at the same time, I'm like, what is happening?
I think you're right. I think my first thought was literally like, why isn't this over?
Yeah.
You know,
I get that they're trying to carry it to the end of the season. Like, now I'm just trying to surrender to the fact that like they want this to be the finale episodes. They want it to be like this gaggy like finale. Fine. This just better come together, or else I don't know what I'm going to do with
so in
myself.
terms
like,
of predictions, what do you think the farm is doing to these people that they're seeing, these dead people?
The only thing I can think of is drugs. Like, how else can
Like,
you see like dead people
maybe
unless it's
like
a supernatural
hypnotism?
like situation?
Maybe like hypnotism mixed with drugs, you know?
Yeah,
For sure there's
like a
drugs
get out
involved.
situation.
Yeah, for sure there's drugs involved.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Hypnotism. I would totally. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes the most sense. But what do you think is going to happen with this whole gargoyle story too?
I don't know. I don't care. I really don't care, guys. I'm really not invested in some of these storylines. Like, there's other things that I want to see more, and I'm like, cool, I'm excited about, but I don't care who the gargoyle king or queen is. I really don't anymore.
Yeah.
Like, just show me
And
at this point. I'm done.
I don't have faith that it's going to make sense. Like,
It's not.
unfortunately, I
It's
just
not.
don't know if it's going to make sense. But
do you
we'll see.
think
Anyway.
the farm and the gargoyle storyline is gonna like intertwine at all?
Yes, it has. I feel like it has to. I feel like
Okay.
they've been building it up for that reason.
Okay.
But if it doesn't, I'm going to be very shocked that it doesn't, because I just feel like they're intertwined for sure.
Okay.
But we'll see. Maybe the farm will save everybody and like reveal the gargoyle.
That's what I'm
know. I
thinking.
have no
Like, I
idea.
almost feel like the farm we've had this negative kind of thing about it this whole time.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like they're gonna come back and be like, no, like, we're actually like pretty sick. But
Exactly.
I don't know if I want that
Like,
either. I don't
it'll
know.
be
I don't
interesting
know
to
what
see
I
how
want.
they wrap it all up.
I want a
Yeah,
clean
don't know
slate.
either.
That's what I want for season 4.
Just reset
That's what I
button.
want.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment I think has to go to like the Betty and Cheryl mission. I think they're so
Okay.
cute together. I love how like Cheryl's like, cousin, I got this. Cousin, I did this for you.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
that was
loved I did love how they edited those scenes together with like Betty like listening in and like Cheryl's talking, and like it was very exciting to watch, and I was very much invested in it. So I appreciated it.
I love Cheryl. They're really good together. I like her and Betty. My best moment is gonna go to the raid scene, because I thought it was like freaking really cool. The way they shot it, the way that it was all set up was really cool.
Totally.
Very impressed.
Somebody compared it to a scene from Daredevil. I don't know if you watched Daredevil. I didn't watch Daredevil.
Yeah.
And there's like this really apparently this
Like-
really iconic like level floor like fight scene. So they were like, it
Okay.
kind of compares to that, but like this is just like the CW like version of it, which is like
CW
less
version.
cooler, I guess. WTF moment. My WTF moment, I think, is when Hiram says that he's getting his marriage annulled. I was like, homie,
Yeah.
how do you get a marriage of like 20 years annulled? And you have a daughter. Like, how
I
does
know.
that work? I don't know how the Catholic Church works, but like, how can you even do that? Like, I thought annulled marriages is just for like if you got married on a whim, or like,
I mean, I think
don't
that there's a
know.
legitimate reason. Like, if she tried to kill you, I think that's a pretty legitimate
but like he
reason.
can't say that to the freaking Monsignor. I don't know. It was just
I
a
mean, he
very
can,
like
technically.
it was just a very extreme like response to like getting
Yeah.
a divorce. He's like, now it's annulled, like it never existed.
It never
like,
existed in the
okay,
eyes of
that's
God.
a
I was
little
like,
extreme,
oh,
Hiram.
shit. Yeah. Like, why? Like, anyway, yeah, I agree. Like, what did she do to deserve like the annulment of your marriage?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty intense.
What was yours?
My WTF moment is when Cheryl claims that she saw Jason, because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was really taken aback as to why everybody was so intrigued by the farm, but now it makes sense to me. And at the same time, like, for all we know, Kevin is like there to see Joaquin, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has someone who is
Of course.
died, you know, so they can find a way to like make them connect to that. So yeah, I was just interested to see that that's the situation, and I'm very interested to see what they do with it, like whether it is a hypnotism situation or not. That'll be really interesting.
MVP. My MVP is gonna go to Archiekins. I think he was so good this episode. He totally made sense. You know, he tried to help out his homies.
For sure.
And I think, like, you know, Jughead just makes these really, like, rash decisions, but it looks like Archie's a little bit stronger this time around.
Yeah, I agree.
And
this time around.
You know, he was my MVP.
My MVP is going to go to the second half of Bughead, which is Betty, because I thought that she kind of killed it too.
Yeah, she did. She really did.
Yeah. I think that they're really good. I wish that they like just chose the right players, because I feel like they make a few decisions that don't make a lot of sense. Like Betty should have chosen Veronica, but it just didn't work out. But anyway.
LVP.
My LVP is going to go to Hermione, because she is just, you know, watching her this episode, I was like, you're just so, like, defeated. Like, you know, here you were, I thought you were this boss ass bitch, and, like, you just drink wine all the time now and, like, sulk, and, like, you're so sad about everything. Like, go do something. Like, go fix it. Or, like, even when Hiram's talking, like, she's just silent. Like, she's not saying anything. Like, Hiram, like, let's figure it out. Like, let's save this marriage. Or, like, I'm sorry. Like, she's just silent.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just the writers not giving her any, like, proper lines, but, like, I just felt like I needed a bit more fire from her, and I didn't get that.
I agree. Like, you're the mayor of the town. Come on, get it together. Mine is gonna go to, I think I'm gonna give it to Jugs, just because I think that he tried his best, but at the same time, like, his best is, like, insane. Like, he should take it down 17 notches and just not try to take things into his own hands. Like, he almost got himself killed. He almost got a bunch of people killed. Technically, it's his fault that fucking Baby Teeth is dead now. So
yeah, it's true.
You know, like, it'll be interesting to see if he even, like, takes responsibility for that, or if he just blames his mom. But I just think that he was kind of stupid in the decision that he made to not tell his dad about this raid situation.
Yeah, agreed. The best line. My best line is going to go to Veronica when she says, "You wouldn't be the first mobster to see a therapist, Daddy." And that's a clear throwback to The Sopranos, which is all about Tony Soprano seeing a therapist. So I just love that.
Good point. Mine is also going to be Veronica when she's in the very beginning talking about the divorce to Betty, and she's like, "I'm trying to find a lining of even tarnished silver." But
I love that line.
I kind of love that line. I was into it.
That was, like, my second option, but it was cute.
Okay, yeah, it was cute.
And don't forget, guys, next week, the next 2 weeks, I believe, there's a hiatus of Riverdale, so we'll be back April, I believe it's 17th. We'll be back with new episodes of Riverdale and new episodes of Game of Thrones.
Ooh, so many things. Anyway, guys, that is the end of our episode. We just have a few announcements. We just want to thank our patrons of the episode. We have our Rewinder squad. We got Kate up in there, and then we got our lit rewinders, Tina Ann, Sarge, and Serena, and our mommy rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Taya.
If you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind, exclusive content, updates, and you'll get to see our pretty faces.
So check us out. And also make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and Facebook. Make sure you guys are staying connected to join the conversation. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with Recap Rewind. Thanks for listening.
Bye.